Hey everyone, Ryan here, and this is my review of the 2023 LEGO Star Wars Emperor's Throne Room Diorama set, made for adults, given set number 75352 with 807 pieces. This one will cost $100 in the United States. LEGO has lost their minds. There is a new Luke Skywalker hairpiece in this set. That's not worth $20 to you? No, it's not? For $100 on this set, though, we are looking for nothing short of perfection, starting with our numbered bags inside of the box, our instruction manual, and, thankfully, no sticker sheet, so that's a decent start. Inside of that instruction manual, you'll find a short read about the scene in Return of the Jedi, plus the LEGO set. You can pause and read if you'd like. The new Luke minifigure is pretty nice, albeit a hard one to mess up, as all they had to do was give him black clothes, and they did. He's got his black glove on one hand and the exposed skin on the other hand, as you'd expect. As far as faces go, we get this smirk and we get a bit of a frown, and then the big talk with this minifigure has been the hairpiece, and it's something that a lot of people are very excited about because this is the first time they've updated Return of the Jedi Luke's hairpiece since 1999 when the first figure came out. Now, looking at the new Luke versus the 2020 Return of the Jedi Luke, we'll see that the newer hairpiece is substantially taller. It's something that I thought as soon as I put the hair on Luke that it felt like his head was much taller than it was in years past, and that is definitely confirmed by putting the figures next to each other. Another thing I noticed about the newer hairpiece is it doesn't seem to be as shiny as the old one. It's more of a matte finish, and flipping the characters around back, you'll notice a pretty big difference here too. You still have much higher detail on the newer figure, but you also can't see the back of the second face on this newer character, so they made the hair low enough to cover that up, which I really like because it's always awkward seeing a second mouth on Luke Skywalker. Next, we have a very good Darth Vader minifigure, with one exception. Set in Return of the Jedi, he has a blue light on his torso, but in this set, he has the green light. 99% of people would never notice, but for the prices they're charging, you would think they could update the figure to be accurate to the movie it's from. Underneath the helmet, the face we find is the same as in the TIE Bomber from earlier in 2023, so while this figure is very good, it's nothing special nor exclusive to this set. Finally, we have Emperor Palpatine decked out in his black robes, and this is one of the better Emperor Palpatine minifigures ever. The face prints make this figure. He has one more subdued face print that's just kind of him chilling about, and then he has his evil face print for when he's using the lightning on Luke Skywalker. Overall, the three figures in the set are good enough to me for the price. However, I think most people were looking for a couple more here, and unfortunately that's just not part of the scene that's being represented here, so LEGO didn't include them, which means you're not getting as much value for your money as you may have liked. Just like all previous LEGO Star Wars diorama sets, we see printed plates for the logo and the quote that says,
"I am a Jedi, like my father before me."
And while it is a good quote, I would have preferred this one. Because it's the 40th anniversary, they've included a printed brick for 40 years of Return of the Jedi, and you can remove that brick, leaving you a couple of exposed studs, but I do prefer the look of the dioramas without these anniversary bricks. I do find them to be a bit of a distraction from the scene, which is the focus of the set. It's a nice bonus, but I wouldn't miss it if it didn't exist. The first detail on the actual throne room we'll cover are these railings that use a slightly metallic droid arm to hold them up, and so you get a nice bit of a shine to them that would just otherwise be a plain light gray Lego color, so I really appreciate that. It's just something a little bit more lively. And then behind that are the duty posts, and so I thought these were like the reactor shafts. No, these are duty posts, and in universe, I guess, a character can like sit in them and use the 8 control panels for different things, but obviously in this set they are completely empty and actually filled to the brim with black pieces. Now, this lower level to the platform has a few studs on it, a couple of them notably in the center where you could stick minifigures if you wanted to, so it does give you the versatility of having them on display on the lower level or on the higher level and not just falling off the second you try to touch the set. But this particular section has something else hidden underneath it, specifically for Palpatine we just saw. All you have to do is push in and up. It's a little bit tough to get off sometimes, but you can pull this whole panel off relatively easily, and within are some lightning bolts. Alternatively, you can flip the set upside down to get the lightning pieces if you want, but I infer removing this panel is what's intended because it's tiled on the front, and if they didn't want you to pull it up, they would have studs on the front to hold it down. There's a nice circular design around the base of the duty post, and if we pull this up, you'll get a great idea of what it looks like. Moving up those steps to the throne and window, it's such a striking view, unlike anything I feel like I've ever seen in a LEGO Star Wars set before. I really like it. So we've got a couple studs at the base for characters that will come back in place later because I want to focus on the throne first. It's got that purple lining on the inside, which looks really, really good. Plus, it can spin 360 degrees thanks to the swivel piece it's on, so you can have him facing like out the window here, or he can turn around and be facing Vader and Luke dueling off. And he does have a soft cape, so you can place him into his chair with ease there onto those two studs at the front, and just like that, he's sitting in there, and he looks awesome in there. I'm a big fan of this design. Again, you can spin him around, have him look outside, have him look at them dueling, doing whatever evil mischief he's up to. But this is by far the best rendition of the Emperor's chair ever made. Now, when it comes to that window and wall design, that's something they also did really good with, and I really like the look of. So it's in a nice round shape here on the front, which gives the whole set just a nice shape compared to most other LEGO Star Wars sets that you would see. And on the inside, you can get an idea of the system they used for attaching the windows around him. And seeing it from behind, we may be able to get a better understanding. We've got the single window at the top middle, and then 6 on the left, 6 on the right, that you build as basically the exact same design, except for the piece that they make you add on to pin down that window in the center, which is a printed piece and just looks so good. Going the extra mile and printing that piece for this set was absolutely necessary for $100, and they did it. It is just kind of held in there randomly. It can actually be knocked out pretty easily if you wanted to knock it out or knock it about. It's not the most solid design, but I don't need the most solid design in an 18 plus display set. I need a design that looks good, and that's what this is. So something else cool they did on the back is that they tiled off the Technic connections. So this runs all the way down into the plinth and is connected in with this gray Technic piece here. And so that is what basically holds up the wall. And then they add some more rigidity to it with more Technic pieces. And it makes it just so that when you pick the whole setup by the wall, this doesn't just fall off. Because if it was just connected like normal Lego bricks, it would. But because they've added in the Technic system, it's very strong. Looking at the model from the side, we can see some of these supports for the floor above. And I think it does add a nice bit of depth to the model, plus you can like see through the stairs and stuff, so I like that, although I could definitely see some people wanting it to be bricked off on the side. Now when it comes down to it and you want to put this set on display, you can take your minifigures like Palpatine and throw them up there. You can take Darth Vader and Luke and place them to be dueling in front of him, and it can be a pretty nice display piece of one of the most iconic lightsaber battles in all of Star Wars. My favorite way to display the figures, though, with Palpatine looming in the background while Vader and Luke duel before him, I really think it's the most iconic way to display this scene. I know a lot of people may disagree with me here, but unlike the Endor speeder chase, I just wouldn't write this one off immediately for its price point. I feel like $100 isn't as insane as it is for that set, although I know at the beginning of this review I said, LEGO has lost their minds. And while they definitely have, this set might not be the best example of that. It's actually pretty good. The number one rule to save money with LEGO Star Wars sets is to never pay full price. And if you don't do that with this set, you will be extremely happy with what you get for your money. I don't think $100 is as insane as I first thought. It's definitely not the greatest priced LEGO Star Wars set ever, but at the very least, they're providing a good quality build with nice minifigures and nice printed parts for that $100. You should probably wait for this set to dip below $80 though. Saving money is never a bad thing, and if you do want to pick this one up, you can do so using the affiliate link in the description below. I'm going to give this one a solid 8.5 out of 10. Thank you for choosing to watch my review, and you can watch more 2023 LEGO Star Wars set reviews on the end screen now.